We've got another trailer coming at you. Here is a reaction to Roofman. My producer sent me this trailer. I have no idea what I am about to watch. Let's get into it.
We all like going back in time and imagining how things could have gone differently. Like, what if I made different choices? Would I have ended up here?
It's been 6 months and still no leads on the whereabouts of the escaped convict known as the Roofman.
Love that setup, okay?
I was never very good at life. Good morning, team. No, don't be scared. Kind of like I was not good at hurting people.
Dwayne, get your coat.
I don't have one.
Are you serious?
Here.
It was a beautiful day.
But I was good at seeing things.
Sun beat down.
Details.
I had the radio on.
Systems and routines.
Yeah, running down a
A
dream.
manhunt tonight for an escaped prisoner.
Find a safe place to hide for a few months.
He's a very smart individual, super intelligent.
You're just the man I want to see.
You like peanut M&Ms, right? 'Cause we're missing a lot. You have any idea why? I just thought, they gotta be hiding somewhere.
I wanted to invite you to my toy drive.
We sell toys here, we don't give them away. Wow.
Yeah, running down a dream.
I would like to introduce you to someone who made a generous toy donation.
That's so kind of you.
So, John, I understand you work for the government.
So it's a little classified, so.
I never knew we had an intelligence unit here in Charlotte.
Oh, are you law enforcement?
Yes, I am.
Wow, that's amazing.
Police believe the Roofman may still be in the area.
What the? Oh my God!
You got your passport? You got to leave tonight.
And can't I just stay? Oh, how? I'll just lay low.
I need you to really think about who you talk to.
You just look like this all the time?
Tell me what's going on. Right now.
Who do you want to be, Jeff?
I need you to take the ink while I'm out.
If I do that, it'll blow up.
Now, if you do it quick. Oops.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So, first off, Channing Tatum, I think that's a great pick to do a movie like this. I do think this movie is entertaining, and I am down to check this out. And Channing Tatum is a big reason why. I think he's one of the few that can pull off within the same movie the silliness and danger aspect of a character, and it's in part just because of his look, right? Like he looks like a taller individual, and yet he definitely comes across as having this kid side of his personality, this silliness. That's like him personally, not even just characters he plays, but him personally, just based on the roles he chooses and that sort of thing. I don't know how much this movie is going to play into the romance side of things, play into it almost seems like he's going to going from stealing personal gain or as like just stealing to get money for himself, then going to turn it and use some of his ability to help out fortunate people in a sort of pseudo Robin Hood way. So that's an interesting aspect that they might get into. The comedy looks like it could be genuinely funny. Yeah, I just don't really know if they can bring it all together and have all the different elements in this movie work enough to make it stand out in those ways. And so that's my hesitation there. I do think casting is a big discussion with the likes of Peter Dinklage, Kristen Dunst. I like these actors, but can they pull off this role alongside Channing Tatum, who I think is going to definitely give it his all in this one? Will his counterparts be able to elevate it and make it work in that way, in the same way that like 21 Jump Street kind of worked, right? You need other people in those scenes to let your main character able to make those flips on a dime, where they go from dangerous to silly to smart, like all these different things, without the surrounding characters allowing for that, giving them room to do that by feeding off the energy that they're getting back. That's when those scenes might fall apart. So I am curious about this movie. Like, it's such a strange title. It's an interesting concept. I thought it would, and maybe I'm right. Maybe it will be mostly set in a Toys R Us. It does seem like there's a lot that's going to happen after that, or like within him still living there or like staying there. It seems like he's going to have a relationship, and how's that going to play out? What's that going to look like? And ultimately there's, this is one of those ones where, and I've talked about this in other trailer reviews, I can kind of see stuff coming now, and I wish I didn't know aspects about this film from the trailer. Not that this is a bad trailer, it didn't give away too much, but just based on seeing certain scenes and knowing how a progression between those scenes might happen, those scenes and those character arcs and developments, I'm already starting to picture what it might be like, and I don't like that. I would much rather go into a movie like this completely blind. You have the title, because you obviously know what you're seeing. It's really hard to watch a movie without knowing the title. You're gonna have the title Roofman, and with that title alone, I would prefer to watch a movie like this, because when you first start it up, you have no idea if this is going to literally be about a roofer who has a tragic accident, or is it going to be about, in this case it seems like it's a burglar who may go in through the roof or something to that effect. Like, that's sort of what they might be going for in that name, but you don't know. And now I know which version of that it is. Plus, I also see in the trailer that, oh, he stays at a store, so it's got one of those like kid fantasy, what if you're stuck in a store, you have the freedom to just play with whatever you want, do whatever you want. And then it looked like in the trailer that he starts to soften a bit from his life of crime, and maybe does a few things to help people out, and that might be the thing that gets him caught. All these things start going through my mind, and that's why I would much rather not know any of this. So yeah, that's my take on trailers like this. But the movie itself did have some good comedy moments. I do like this premise of a criminal being stuck in a store as opposed to a kid, and especially a criminal being played by Channing Tatum, who's going to have that childlike whimsy element to their personality. It could be a lot of fun. I am less confident on the other cast members, and I do hope that they aren't the reason this thing gets let down. It does seem like it's going to be a bit more calm. They didn't show a ton of action scenes, so this does seem like a more character story driven experience where you are along for the ride, and it's not a particularly violent ride. There's some comedy, there might be a little bit of action, romance, there's some character development, and that's sort of what you're in for, which I do appreciate those movies. I'm worried about, can they pull it off? What did you guys think? Have you seen this trailer? Does it remind you of any other movies that you've seen? I can think of a couple that this reminds me of. It's very hit or miss, is what I'll say. I'll see you next time.